Welcome to our Yogiram podcast. Today, we are excited to introduce Dr. Amitab Gupta, the Dean of Corporate Relations at the Swami Vivekananda Group of Institutes. With a PhD in Management and Business Administration, an MBA in Human Resource Management, and a degree in Advertising and Sales Promotion, Dr. Amitab Gupta brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. In addition to his role as Dean, he serves as an associate professor and head of the MBA program, bridging the gap between academic and industry. With over 16 years of teaching and 8 years of corporate roles at esteemed organizations like Indian Railway, Genpact, Novartis Pharmaceutical, Dr. Amitabh Gupta is dedicated to preparing students for their professional journey. A certified entrepreneurship educator and skill trainer, he is passionate about fostering entrepreneurial spirit and practical skill in his student. Join us as we dwell into Dr. Amitabh Gupta's insight on education, entrepreneurship. वेरी वार्म वेलकम अमिताभ जी, आपका योगीराम पॉडकास्ट में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है एंड थैंक्स फॉर योर टाइम, थैंक्स फॉर गिविंग टाइम फॉर द पॉडकास्ट फ्रॉम योर बिजी स्केड्यूल. Sir, I will start with the basic first question. Please share your journey and then we'll get into the more denser and more complex questions.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for this invitation. It's my privilege to be a part of your show. So, as you mentioned that presently I'm associated with an engineering and management institution in West Bengal as a Dean Corporate Relation. But I have started my career in a central government organization that is Indian Railways. There I have served for near about 6 years. So then I have shifted to another organization where I got an opportunity to serve in abroad, like New Jersey, in the Novartis Pharmaceuticals for a couple of months. Then I came back to again India and served some other multinational organization. But during that period only, I have started, taking some classes in the weekend, like Saturdays and Sundays in the management colleges. So then only I have realized that probably it is my passion to get into on a full-time mode in an education industry. So that is the reason I have shifted from corporate to these things. I mean, education. And in education, I am now having near about 16 years of experience in multifaceted, like say, for example, from academics to administration in the education industry. So that in very brief, my career journey actually.
Great, sir. Sir, talking into the same context, how do you integrate your corporate experience, vast experience, into your teaching? Because
Right, that's a really very wonderful question, and I am feel privileged to have experience in both the corporate as well as in education. And in corporate also, you can say, I mean, organizations. If I'm talking about, I have served central government organization, multinational organization, as well as some local organization. So I am having the experiences of the culture of different types of organization. It may be a central government, it may be a multinational, or it may be a local organizations. So when, as you know, that my specialization is in marketing as well as in human resource management. So when I'm teaching this organizational behavior or the human resource management, so it is the experiences I have got from the different industries. So definitely that helped me out while I'm teaching, so that it is easier for me to explain to the students that how this theory of the management can be applicable in different industry. So definitely that experiences I had in the different corporate houses or the companies, that definitely helping me out in preparing cases or the case studies or the examples during my teaching process. So definitely, the people who are having experience in the corporate, then they are coming to the teaching, especially, management education. That's a privilege definitely they are having. It is easier for them to connect the theory with the practical experiences. And definitely that is much more acceptable and insightful for the students.
right, sir. Sir, taking to the next question, can you discuss the importance of ethical business practices in today's corporate world?
Right. That's a very interesting question because, values and ethics is a paper which I used to take in my engineering and the management classes. But it's true that it's a fact. If you enlist our country on the ethical parameter, our country belongs to a very poor position, let's admit that. So there are a lot of unethical practices that is going on in the industry. and that resulted into different kind of scams and etc. But however, we need to. But why the government have ensured this particular subject for this professional program like the engineering, management, even the medicine, etc., so that the students who are becoming the future generation, actually either a doctor or an engineer or a manager or any holding any other important position, if they are aware about this kind of ethical practices and what are the different kind of unethical things that is going on, so probably it is going to help us out to improve this particular condition. So definitely,
Right.
ethics is the basic should be the basic integral part of every organization. Everybody, if we are behaving ethically towards each and every policy, it may be the customer relation or maybe the production, it may be the marketing, it may be the finance, everything. So we must be ethical, because if we are not ethical, that the consequences is not going to be good. We have seen there are many good organizations which has closed down, destroyed, you can say, because of the unethical practices of few people, right? So
Right.
that is the thing. So if few people very much unethical, corrupted, that is going to hamper the overall organizations and the system. So that's why ethics, or the integrity what we are talking about, that should be the integral policy of any organizations, and that should be ensured by each and every employees. So that's the thing. I mean, the ethical business practices is the need of the hour for each and every organization, actually.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Sir, you talked about you also have a great experience and exposure into HR. So, talking about recruitment, what should be an ideal approach for recruitment and selection in any organization with special emphasis on industrial or rather say on education industry?
Right. I mean, recruitment and selection is the core of any, business organizations. Because if you are not able to hire the right person for the right position, you will not be able to run the show. I mean, run the business. So that's why recruitment and selection plays a very important role in any industry, and education industry is not an exception. So that's why if you are talking about recruitment and selection, let us just briefly differentiate between the two. Recruitment is actually, attracting the right kind of candidate. And the
Mhm.
selection is the process of identification of the best possible candidates from amongst those who have applied. That is the basic difference. So first step is the recruitment. That means we need to attract the right kind of candidate. That means, say, for example, if you are talking about educational institutes, so our the major pillar of any educational institutes are the teachers or the faculty members. So if you have to hire the right kind of faculty members, you need to ensure you are attracting the right kind of people. Because if, say, for example, most of the applicants who are applying to your university or the institution, if they are not matching the criterias, it mean I'm not talking about educational criterias only. I'm talking about it may be based on their teaching methodology, based on their experiences, based on their orientation towards the teaching, and etc. So if you are not able to attract the appropriate person, we will be ending up selecting a person who is not actually fit for the organizations. So that's
Right.
why attracting the right kind of candidate is very, very important. Yeah, and for that, as always, if you want to attract somebody, we need to give something. Now, give something means, say, for example, a brand. We are talking about nowadays employer branding. So always, if you want to attract somebody with a high credentials and all the qualities we are looking for, they would be definitely looking for a brand. Like, say, is it IIM? Is it IIT, or some ranking in the NAC or NIRF, NBA accreditation? So they are going to check. I mean, whenever they will be joining an institution. So that's why we have to develop ourselves as a good employer. So then only good candidates will be able to attract. And during the selection, definitely there are certain kind of criteria that has been prescribed by the governing bodies, like, say, for example, AICT or the UGC, etc., like the specific PhD qualifications, experiences, master degree with certain kind of percentage. These are important, definitely important. We have to follow that. But however, at the time of selection, it should not be the criteria whether they are having a PhD degree, a master degree with 55% mark. That means he is a very good teacher taking. It's not.
Right,
Teaching
right,
is
right,
something different. Teaching is something different. If the person is not having passion for teaching, he will not be able to deliver, right? So
right,
ultimately, the student should be the loser. That they will not
right.
be able to. Maybe they are having good credential, good marks, good degrees, but if they are not having the delivery capacity, I mean, if they are not able to deliver, so that is very important. So that's why during the selection, especially for the teaching fraternity actually. Other than the academic credential, we need to check the culture fit, whether they will fit into the culture. Number two is definitely we need to check the teaching methodologies, their delivery, how they are interacting with the students and all. So these things should be taken into consideration while selecting the faculty members or the teaching professional in the college or the universities actually.
Right. It's very well put and very true. It's so talking to same context. What strategy do you find effective for an employee motivation?
So motivation, there are different theories or practices that are available. According to me, the motivation should be non-financial in nature at the beginning, because you cannot motivate a people only with the financials for a long period of time, because it's a human psychology. You cannot satisfy anybody in the world by giving money. After a certain period of time, they will be thinking this money is not sufficient for me, I need more, right? So that is the thing. We have to include in our motivational policy different kind of non-financial techniques, especially if you are again we are talking about educational institute, and educational institute, of course these people, we are talking about the teachers, they are highly qualified, so they are having some intellectual needs, they are having the requirement of flexibility, because say for example in the teaching profession the people come for their passion. Now if they are being treated like a corporate employee of 9 to 5 job, that you have to come at 9, you have to leave by 6, and your performance is being determined by these numbers. Now, whether you have come 9 or whether you have come 6, okay, that means it's good. Or how much time you have spent in the classroom, okay? Somebody is, standing beside the classroom and taking a note that, okay, the teacher is entering at 9:05. Why 9:05? So cause. So it is not going to be successful in future. It may show the management of that particular organization that they are very much strict. They are doing, they are trying to bring some corporate culture in the education industry, but actually that is destroying it. Right? If you, the teachers needs to be given flexibility. The inner teachers are the creative people. These creative people should be given flexibility. Like say for example, in an advertising agency, the major person is the copywriter, one of the important person. The copywriter is writing the copy. Now, if he is not given the flexibility of thinking, independently, he will not be able to come up with the new things. I mean, creative thing, attractive. Similarly, it goes to these things as well. So that's why for the motivation, one of the important parameter is definitely this non-financial things. Like say, for example, working times. This actually happening. Like say, for example, there is a concept of flexi timing. Now, flexi timing is what? Flexi timing means you can come at any time, you can move at any time, but however you have to spend that 8 hours or 9 hours. But it's a fact, it can be directly applicable into the corporate, but probably in the educational institute, as it is a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, giving this flexibility is little bit difficult. But however, if you are open, say for example, morning 8 a.m. to evening 8 a.m., right? So in that period, the person who are coming at morning 8 a.m., they can leave by 4. The person who are coming is 9, they can leave by 5. So at least this kind of HR policy we can build up, that is going to give them motivation. The people will be thinking that is, say for example, I have a personal appointment or personal say for example invitation in the evening at 5. Now what I have to do? I mean the people have to take leave little early. Otherwise what they can come at 8 for that day and leave by 4, right? So in different corporate are using this and they are getting successful, right? So whether this policy can be implemented in the educational institute also, we need to think, right? Of course, it's a fact. There are people, it's a human psychology. If there is a flexible policies, there is a chances of exploitation. People try to utilize it. It's a fact. It's a human nature. Right? It's a human nature. So they want to utilize it for their own benefit. They're not thinking for the organization. So it's a fact. But of course, it is the now it is the responsibility or the credibility of the managers how they are utilizing it or implementing it, right? So that's why this non-financial motivational factors, another important thing is called the job enlargement and the enrichment. Enlargement means the teachers who are very much interested to taking classes only. They are very much interested. They are very good in taking classes. Give them more number of classes. Now the person who is much more flexible in different activities, not only taking classes, going for seminar, going for networking event, doing some, corporate relations. That is called
Right.
job enrichment. So give them more response. They'll be happy to utilize different skills. So if you
Right.
want to motivate a person who can be motivated by job enlargement, if you want to use enrichment, at the end you are demotivating him. On
Hmm.
the other hand, the person who can be motivated by job enrichment, if you are using job enlargement, you are demotivating. So that we need to think that everybody cannot be motivated with the same, techniques. We need to
Hmm.
identify that which method is suitable for whom. Use that. So definitely through that we can motivate.
Right, right. So, talking to the same context, can you share some insight on employee engagement in education sector and whether in education sector also moonlighting happens?
Definitely, that's a very interesting question. But in employee engagement is a strategy. Definitely, we need to think that what are the different kind of techniques we can utilize. One of the activity definitely involve them in the, say for example, different kind of management decision process. If they are
Hmm.
engaged into the process of, say for example, scheduling the classes, so then they will maybe they will able to understand why in this semester some more number of classes needs to be taken by every faculty, because the syllabus is huge. We need to finish the syllabus with a very short period of time. But if, say
Hmm.
for example, only the top management people are taking the decision and giving the schedule that you need to take more number of classes, giving extra hours, they will be feeling demotivated that intentionally they are doing it. But if they're
Right,
engaged into the process, they will understand why that is happening, right?
right.
And as you are talking about the moonlighting, definitely, as like other industry, it is also happening. The people sometime working for two different organizations at the same time without the informing the parent organizations. That may happen because that, like the doctors, they are having opportunities to work in other hospitals as well. They are getting those opportunities. Similarly, the teachers are also getting offers from other universities nowadays. Online facilities are available, so definitely at any point of time you can take those assignment. It's happened, but again, as we are talking about the ethical things and the integrity, as far as the appointment letter and etc., it should not be done. But again, if, say for example, if somebody is getting invited by a very reputed foreign universities now, or any good universities and the colleges, the college where this particular faculty member is associated, the management of that particular college would be giving his the permission, because that's a proud things for them. I mean, our
Right,
faculty member is being invited to other institutes, so that's a fact.
right.
So it not always for it is unethical or not not beneficial for the organization, not like that. So it may be beneficial. So it's if you're talking about the NAC accreditation or the NB accreditation process, whether the faculty members are being invited by other institute, that is one of the important, right? So that is that can be accepted in many cases as well. But
Mhm.
there are exceptions. You can't help it actually sometimes.
Right, 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 sir. Sir, taking the next question, how do you keep up with evolving trends in management education?
Right, that's a very, that is very important actually, because if we are giving us the inputs to the students which are very much backdated, so that is not going to be helpful for them whenever they are facing the industry. So that's
Right.
why definitely it is our responsibility from an individual teacher or from an institute perspective to keep ourselves updated. I mean, being the teacher should be updating themselves on a everyday basis about the new things that is happening. So one of the very simple thing is, doing research on a regular basis, what is happening in the industry, number one. Number two, very easily nowadays, due to this artificial intelligence and the plethora of informations are available. If anybody wants what is happening in the business domain in a particular segment, what is happening, it's in their hand, in the mobile phone that is available. So if you are having that intention of upgrading yourself,
Mm.
sources are available. It's free of
Very true.
cost. Just go and grab it and update your knowledge, and utilize that particular knowledge in your classroom delivery. I used to be associated with one of the institution in South India long back. So their policy was the teachers have to taking classes start taking classes from 10 a.m. in the morning. They have to at that point of time there was no that there was not no such plethora of internet and all. So that's why we have to go to the market and collect at least 8 to 9 newspapers. Go through that
Okay.
before the class. Okay, what is
Hmm.
happening today? Okay, in
Right.
business industry, etc. Take a note of it and include that examples in your class delivery today. So
Very
that
good.
is ideal thing. So I used to keep myself updated like that. Now I don't have to go to purchase newspapers because it is available in my phone. Just your responsibility is go through those newspapers before going to the class, so that you will be having an understanding that what is happening today. And number two is definitely go through different kind of YouTube videos, news channels, and etc. You'll be having a clear idea what is happening today in your domain. So through that, definitely everybody should keep on updating themselves.
Very, very true, sir. Very true. Okay, sir, moving to the next question. According to you, how the culture collaboration can be implemented in any organization? Yes, it is a little bit a tough or tricky thing, specifically in higher education institutes.
Right. This culture of collaboration is very important. Like, say, for example, probably nowadays we are utilizing this term very frequently. That is called the interdisciplinary activities. Now, say, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I am an expert, or say, for the example, I have done my PhD in marketing. So I'm good at marketing, say, for example. But I need to analyze some data. For that, some faculty member with very good knowledge in statistics is very much appropriate.
Right.
Now, say for example, if there is no culture of collaboration, if I am trying to ask that statistics faculty member that can you help me out in analyzing this data, so if there is no culture of collaboration, the immediate reaction of the discussion, oh, even you don't know this, how can you complete your PhD and do this,
Right.
right? Right. So that's the thing. So in those environment, the person would be hesitating to discuss, collaborate with others to give a better
Right.
output. But if the
Mm.
culture itself exists, then what is the problem of going to a marketing class with a statistics faculty? It's possible that, okay,
Right.
fine,
Right.
this is the marketing concept, this is the thing. Now the analysis part would be discussed by Mr. X because he is
Right.
good in that, right?
Mm.
So that is very important. So as a team, you'll be working because ultimate objective is to not to showcase who is a better teacher. The
Mm.
ultimate objective is that students should be getting the most appropriate or the most useful tools and techniques which is going to help them out in the future. So that's the objective. So if that
Right.
culture of collaboration is there, if it is being implemented by the top management, that it is accepted if you are taking the help rather. So
Mm.
that's why this collaboration culture is very, very important. It should be implemented. It is not there in most of the institution or the organization because everybody is trying to showcase their supremacy. Like, yes, I am these things. I am the most knowledgeable person. So that is
Mm.
not happening. But if that can be done, that will be a wonderful for the benefit of the students. Definitely, right?
Right. Right. What are some common misconceptions about pursuing a career into HR?
Right. I'm just answering this question by with an example that on long back, probably in 2013, 14, I have asked that one student who has taken HR specialization. So I have asked that why. I used to ask everybody why you are taking the specialization. So one student told that yes, I have taken the specialization because HR is the ultimate boss in the organization. He is the person who can hire, he is the person who can fire. So that's why I want to become the most important person in the organization. That's why I've taken HR. So that's a very
Oh.
wrong perception, right?
Right.
But
Right. Right.
right, you are not ready because you are definitely your job is to hire the right person. But of course,
Mm.
you are not the ultimate decision maker. You can take a
Right.
decision from the HR perspective that yes, he is suitable culturally. Whatever the salary budget I am having, probably he is matching with that culturally fit. Everything is fine. But whether he is technically sound, you cannot judge. The technical person would be judging that, right? Functionally, whether it is the functional manager would be checking that, right? So
Right.
that's the thing. So in HR, and a lot of people are taking HR because they think that is an in-house job. You don't have to
Mm.
move out. So you will be sitting with a laptop. So that's why there is no pressure. So I'll be taking that. Again, it is not. Because if I take an example of the Swiggy or the Zomato companies, so their total business depend on you. I mean, if you are not able to hire the delivery person on a regular basis, they will be losing out of the business, right?
Right.
So you are not able to hire the person, the company is losing business. So that means understand the how much important your job is. So nowadays the concept is changing. Like nowadays we are talking about HRBP, that is a human resource business partner. So you have to take the responsibility of the business. You need to understand the business. It's not that you just hired the people, fired the people, your job is done. No, it's not, right? So you have to integrate yourself into the overall business functions, and then only your important in the organization will be improved. Because if they know they can, this person is not, it's a common joke you'll be finding in the LinkedIn and etc. HR means Rangoli. I mean, they are preparing, sending birthday wishes and all. That is the job. It's not, right? It's not. You are playing a very, very important role for the businesses, right? So that's why, this small misconception should not be there. You have to take the responsibility to transform your company from HR perspective, human resource perspective, because they are though we are talking about AI and all, but ultimately if there is no human brain to run AI, the company cannot run. So that's why
Right.
human resource always plays a very important role.
Right, sir, right. Sir. Even I face the same, rather say, consequences to make MBA students, pursuing MBA students, to understand how crucial the HR and HR functionality is as compared to other domains. And yes, they end up messing up with that. This particular job or job role don't have any targets, and we have to sit in a very lavish AC cabin, and we'll be enjoying the rest of life.
Right.
But yeah, it happens because of misconception and the education what they have been imparted.
Right.
Okay, so getting back to the corporate sector, how do you handle conflicts that rise in a corporate environment?
Right. If there are two persons, they will be having two different opinion. And if there are differences in opinion, that will create conflict. So conflict is an inevitable part in any organization. It may be a corporate, it may be an education industry. But again, we need to understand what kind of conflict is this. I mean, is a functional conflict or dysfunctional conflict? If it is a functional conflict of selecting a best alternative for the organization, which decision is good, whether we should invest this money in this particular area or that, this is a decision. So this is a healthy conflict. I mean, at the end we'll be taking the best decision. But if this is a dysfunctional conflict, that the conflict is basically to put down some employee. I mean, okay, fine, I need to ensure anyhow he is not good, I need to ensure anyhow that he is not suitable for this role. If this is the objective, then this is dysfunction, right? So that, it's, ultimately it's the company culture. I mean, top management have to take decision that which policy they are going to implement, which culture they are going to implement. If they are fostering a culture of functional conflict, healthy competition kind of thing, that is very good for the organization. People will be coming up with, the good suggestion. Okay, fine, this is the idea. This should be implemented. That is how, overall profitability of the company can be improved and all. Employee model can be improved, motivation can be improved. But however, if the dysfunctional conflict is there, so that's a problem. But however, being a leader, you need to ensure to foster the culture of the functional conflict. Conflict should be there, because without conflict, you cannot grow. Right? If everybody is accepting everything, that means there is a problem in the system. Right? So you have to come up with alternative solution. Again, you have given a very good idea, but however, I think I have a better solution. Right? So this kind of conflict should be there. But if the management is fostering a culture of dysfunctional conflict, talking, how this is happening, talking to the person individually and telling you are the best. Okay, you are the best. He is not good. Now, so that is not going to work in future. I mean, if you are expecting a very good outcome in the organizations, if you want to ensure your organization growth should be highest, so dysfunctional conflict would be a hindrance. So that is the reason conflict would be there, but we need to ensure this conflict should be functional in nature.
Sir, moving back to the youth, the students, what advice would you give to students entering in the field of management? Because it has been a dilemma into freshers, or rather say the graduates, that okay, for better pay grade, we'll get into an MBA degree, or for better management role or easy job, rather say.
Right. True. I mean, there are many people who are having that thought process actually. But usually I used to tell that what is the full form of MBA, Master of Business Administration. But however, in some other way, we can talk about Master of All Bachelors, MBA, all bachelors. Bachelors means in MBA, you have to study different kind of subjects, right? It may be marketing, HR, finance, sociology, values and ethics, mathematics, operation, research, lot of things. So you have to know a lot of things. I mean, different aspects of the businesses you need to know. Though we are having some specialization like HR or the marketing or the finance or the operations, but we need to keep one thing in mind. If I'm joining an organization and moving ahead in the organization, like organizational hierarchy, if you are holding a top position, say for example, the managing director and all, so or general manager. So at that point of time, if you are telling that I am having specialization in HR, so I understand
Okay.
HR. I don't understand everything, anything else. So how can you run the organization? You cannot.
Right.
So you have to have that concept that I am an MBA. That means I know each and every aspects of the management. So wherever there is a requirement, I will be able to put in my effort. Maybe
Very true.
I cannot be an expert in everything. Maybe I'm an expert in HR, but it does
Mhm.
not mean if some responsibilities comes in the areas of marketing, I'll be denying that no, my specialization in HR, I'm not going to entering in that field. I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to enter into the finance domain. It is not. So we have to be very much open minded. If some company think though your specialization in HR, but you are been given an opportunity in marketing, maybe why the company is giving that opportunity? Because they think you can do it, right?
Right.
So that is the reason they are giving it. So you have to be very much open minded that we have to run the businesses. So anywhere we have to perform. Like say for example, if you are joining a bank, you cannot just expect you will be becoming a branch manager from the very first day, right? You
Mhm.
have to sit in the teller. Probably you have to
Right.
sit in the front desk, you have to sit in the other different functions. Then only gradually you will become a branch manager where you know each and every function, right? So
Right.
that's why this open mindedness is very important. Number two is the salary aspect that you are talking about. Definitely, MBAs are the highly paid individuals. That's the fact. But if you why the peoples are going to pay you, company is going to pay you, it is not because of your degree. No, it
Right.
is because of the skill set or the value you are bringing in within the organization. That is the thing. So if you're bringing in value, definitely that will be replicated in the compensation. That's true, right? So that is the reason those who are coming into the management domain, that after getting the degree, company will be coming and giving me a huge salary. It is not. Company is not going to give you salary because of your degree. Degree is one of the key component to enter into the interview room. That's true. But whether how much compensation they will be giving totally depends on how much value you are bringing in into the table. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you need to perform. You need to contribute. So that's the idea actually, basically. That things, the people should keep that in mind before entering into this particular domain.
Right, right. Very, very true, sir. I faces the same issues to make them understand. Sir, talking into same context and very common issue, which I think every company as well as the college management, even faculties face this thing. The internship. Many student feels that internship means they will be imparted everything, the knowledge from the company, from the organization, and they will be also paid for that. Sir, in the same context, can you share your thoughts on the role of internship in education?
Internship plays a very important role because, as you know, that NEP 2020 have made it mandatory for each and every courses in India must be having an internship. Each and every.
Right.
Earlier, it used to be associated only with the professional courses, but now it is a part and parcel of each and every courses in India that you have to do certain kind of internship. Because in the internship, the students would be able to get the first-hand experience in the industry or the corporate world. So that's why it is very important. So whatever they have learned in the classroom, how much that is applicable. Many cases they will be finding, I have studied this thing that is not applicable. That is the real life learning. That's fine. For the education purpose, you have learned certain kind of theories and all. Probably those things directly not applicable. Here, something else is important. So that is the experience that is important. So as you have pointed out rightly, there are many Gen Z people specifically. They are having the first query about getting any internship is how much stipend they are paying. They are going
Right.
to select the these things. I mean, the internship based on the stipend. If they are good stipend, that's a good internship. But it's absolutely wrong because if it is a very good company, if they are giving you very good profile, either they will be giving you a very small stipend or no stipend. Now the company who are giving you high stipend, why? Because they want something output from you which is not easily available. I mean, easily
Right.
available means the company is not able to do that with their employees. So that's why they're hiring people with a, say for example, 40,000 kind of 50,000 kind of stipend. So they want some. I'm not talking about all the companies are doing that. There are many companies. I'm not taking the name of the companies, but they are giving you very good stipend, even up to 1 lakh in India. 1 lakh, 1 lakh,
Mhm.
1 lakh 50,000. But in a for a HR role, in a finance role, that's they're giving. But of course, they are very much selective because these numbers are very less. But if you
Right.
are, ultimately, internship objective is to gain practical knowledge, and that is going to help you out to get the good final placement. So the whenever you are selecting an internship, it should be based on the job profile, not based on the stipend. What knowledge you are getting. If it is an HR, what are the things you are learning? Is it recruitment, selection, performance appraisal, or say, for example, compensation management, labor laws, whether you are able to learn it, have, getting those practical exposure. So that is very important. In marketing, whether, some companies are giving you 40,000 salary, stipend, and they are asking you to sell something in the street. Now,
Right.
I'm not telling that, selling something in the street is bad. I mean, it is also part of the job. But why they are giving? But rather, if you are involved into a core marketing domain, you are able to understand the marketing policies and the strategies where you are not getting a stipend, that is much more beneficial for you in future. So
Right.
that is the thing. The student should select the internship based on the job profile, company profile definitely, not based on the stipend. If the stipend comes, that is good. But that should not be the most important criteria for selecting an internship.
Right, sir. Right. How do you measure the success of your students after graduation?
In our society, success depends on how much money you are earning, what is the position you are holding. That's true. I mean, that's a fact. But whether you have able to purchase a car, whether you have got some abroad assignment, these are the success factors. But at the end of the day, whether that person is able to go to sleep at night with mental peace, that is very important. That is, if you are able to do that, you are successful, right?
I personally feel the same.
Right. Right. So the probably will be at our age we are able to understand that. So that is one of the most important factor. But of course, those people who are just graduating from the colleges, their success is different. But of course, according to me, the people who are doing working in a good company, good profile, that is important for me. I'm not asking about the CTC. CTC comes. I mean, if you perform in a small company, you start gradually will be the gaining experiences. Your CTC would be increased. No issue on that. So, but if you're the kind of job you are doing, which have a low ceiling career, I mean, there is not much more movement in future. So that is, I'm not talking about success. So if there is a good opportunity for future, though at present you are in a lower position, that is okay because you have the opportunity to grow. So that's how I actually evaluate the success.
Sir, taking the next question, can you discuss your experience working with various companies in managerial capacity?
Yeah, as I have told that I have worked with three different categories, like say for example in a central government as well as a multinational, as well as local organization. So in three different aspects culturally they are different.
Hmm.
So that helped me out to manage different things in different culture. Like the way I used to manage things in the government organizations where everything is bureaucratic. I mean, there are strict rules and regulations. I cannot disobey anything. Whatever the protocol, I have to follow that, and by following that, I have to come to a decision. Maybe instantly I'm thinking that okay, fine. If I have to purchase something, I am giving an order to somebody. Give it and take it. But I know I need to follow the protocol. I need to go
Right.
for a tender. I have to take the different quotations. I need to
Right.
evaluate them. Then only I'll able to purchase that. Right. So that is the thing. But sometime in the probably some other local organization where I have found that okay, fine. If you have a requirement, take it. Then do the formality, whatever the
Right.
formalities are. So it differ actually, right? But again, in the multinational, there is a cultural segment is different. Culture is different. Like I'm just giving a specific example. In the government organizations, your superior should be called as sir. That good morning, sir. That's the normal culture. But in the multinational, you have to call them with their first name,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay, how are you, Rahul? Good morning, Rahul. So that's the basic difference. So these are the things probably by working in different organizations, I have been able to understand, and I have tried to inculcate those kind of knowledge to our students actually. So as I've told you, different organizations are having different policies and the culture and the procedures. So we have to adapt accordingly. So that's the idea actually.
Right. 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 Sir, talking to same context, what key lesson have you learned from your corporate experience? Two or
Right.
three.
Right, I'm just giving few examples that you can understand. So I can remember when I used to work in an organizations for some time in US. So I have entered my boss room.
Mhm.
He was a US citizen. I entered the room. I was standing that for an instruction. So after, but my boss was not, connecting with me. He was doing his own work. After 5, 6 minutes, he's told, Amitabha, what's the problem? I mean, why you are standing here? I told, I have
Oh.
something to say. He told
Hmm.
that why you are not saying, why you are wasting your time and standing here. You have came to say something to say it. That's it. Because why it has happened? Because my previous experience with my Indian bosses. So if I entered the room, if without permission, if I'm start talking, they would be scolding me. Why? Why you are disturbing me, right?
Right.
So that's the lessons. You can. That's a cultural difference. I know
Hmm.
there is a organizations in India. One person has been show caused. Why? Because during a meeting he took a loo break, right? Now he has to submit an explanation why he has taken a loo break, right?
Okay.
Right, so that's happened. So that is the thing. It's very common in many organizations, small organizations. Of course, the small organization, their mentality is also not that good. If you don't like somebody, from the official WhatsApp group, you are removing without talking to that person. That's funny. I mean, how can you do that? That shows how much these things. I mean, you are culturally mismatched with the system. So that's the thing. You cannot do that. That you talk to the person that yes, fine, because of this reason. Why don't you leave the group? Because you are no longer required. That's it, right? So that
Right.
is a. But these are the differences actually, right? Again, I'm giving another example in US only. So one person have came that he needed leave because his kids is unwell, right? So that is the reason. So immediately the response was from the manager, you don't drive today. I'm asking my driver
Hmm.
to take you to the your home because you'll not
Right.
mentally okay
Right.
if your kids is unwell. And in
Hmm.
some time again in another organizations I'm talking in India, I'm not taking all the US cultures are good. I mean, it's not that. I mean, they are also having different kind of faults. But I'm just giving
Right.
this example from my experiences. One of my colleagues, dad was hospitalized. So he asked his manager that can I leave early today? Why?
Hmm.
Because my dad is hospitalized. Oh, is there? I mean, there is nobody else in your family who can go and take care. So that was the response, right?
Right.
So that's the thing, from the different experience, you will be able to understand, and then you will be differentiate which is good or which is not good, right? So that is the thing. Like say, for example, again, I have found there are different Indian managers who are not doing micromanaging, but
Hmm.
contrary to the belief, I have found there are these European and US bosses who are doing micromanaging. So that is the thing. It happens. It is not only based on the country. It depends, as we are talking about organizational behavior and the personal behavior. So it's basically depend on the person. Actually, basically
Right.
depend on the person. It is not the culture of the organization. It's the culture of that person, right? So that's the thing. So it's because the human behavior is very complex. So now how they are going to behave, you cannot control the behavior of everybody. That's true. So that's the thing,
Right.
but these are the experiences through that you can learn, you can differentiate, you can discuss those cases with the students that is happening. So you shouldn't do that. So that's the idea.
Yes, yes. Then that will be beneficial to understand, and they can act accordingly to the situation, practical situation. Sir,
Right.
talking into the taking the next question, what strategy do you use for effective communication in your role? Being into an HR, it is really very tough, and
Right.
many times people understand or perceive something else. What the point is, what is the no the nature or the situation is, and what they have understood or interpret from that.
Right. I mean, the community is very in every job, each and every job. Communication is the key. We will be finding majority of the problem in the world we are having because of communication, and the corporate is not an exception. Every problem has a solution if that is going to be communicated correctly. So that's the thing. Transparent and candid and open communication is the key.
Hmm,
Right.
hmm.
So that's the thing. I'm just giving one of my example. One of my bosses. I have at the beginning I have seen that he used to conduct open door meetings. That is the first
Okay.
time I have seen. I mean, if he is doing a meeting with one person, there are so many other people are also sitting. So at the
Okay.
beginning I used to get confused that why he's doing. I mean, the meeting should be private kind of thing. But
Hmm,
later
hmm.
on, I have understood this is a very good thing. Like everybody is getting the candid communication, because if something is happening, closed door, everybody is having some of their own imagination that
Right,
probably
right.
this discussion is going on. Because of
Hmm.
that discussion, his salary has been increased, right?
Right,
He got a good
right.
promotion. But if it is
Hmm.
open, so everybody understand, okay, this was the discussion and this was the, decision given by the boss, and because of this reason, everybody knows that. I'm not
Right,
telling that for every situation this works, but in
right,
majority of the cases, it may work, this open and candid communication. That
right,
generally we follow the principle that praise in public and punish in private. So if
right.
that policy should also be carried out, I mean, it's a good policy. If you want to
Hmm.
appreciate somebody, clearly communicate. Sometimes it happens, I have seen that you are there is a one, you have sent a mail with your achievement to everybody, then the boss is replying by clicking on reply, not reply to all. So this is
Ah,
not good. If you want to appreciate, click on the reply to all, tell
right,
everybody
right.
you are appreciating. So for punishment also, without taking the name, you can contribute that one of my our employee that has done that, we have to take some drastic action, right? So that is the thing. So it is not wise to take those negative decisions or the punishment in front of the public. So the communication, what we are talking about, it should be open, it should be clear, candid. That is very important. Two-way
Hmm.
communication, that is also important, and there should be a culture of two-way communication. If the people or the employees having an understanding, if the boss have told that we have to follow it, we had no right to ask question. So that is create the problem. Two-way
Right, right,
communication, open and candid communication is the key actually.
right, right. Sir, taking more deeper question, a complex question, can you discuss the importance of emotional intelligence in the leadership? Because everybody wants, even the freshers, if you talk about, they wants to be a TL, not the executive or not a team member when they are
Right.
even just entering any organization. So please tell us about the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership.
Right. This is a very important factor because you have to connect with your employees emotionally. Emotionally, in the sense that you need to understand their need. You need to
Hmm.
understand their, situations. Like, say, for example, just giving an example, then we'll probably the discussion will be much more easier. That one person was expected to be given promotion in the organizations. So manager have asked him that, okay, fine, we have decided to give you promotion. This would be the designation, this will be the responsibility, this will be the salary increase. But that
Hmm.
person denied. He told, no, I don't require this promotion. Then there is a confusion. I mean, all the managers were, what is this? I mean, if he is not thinking about his own growth, how he can be thinking for his personal, I mean, organization growth? So he is not a good
Right.
candidate. That is a discussion. Then we came to know that particular person and discussion that we are talking about, his father was terminally ill. He has to move out early to take care of his father. Now his thought process was that if I'm taking this promotion, my responsibility would be increased. Though my salary would be increased, my responsibility would increase. Of course, I have to put in more time. Probably I cannot
Hmm.
leave early because of my responsibility. So that is why he has refused. So that was his intention. So that is the thing. So we need to understand why some employees are behaving in a pattern. I need to understand that because
Right.
there are two different kind of leader, and number one is people oriented, number two is task oriented. Now extreme of both the things are bad, right?
Hmm.
If you're task oriented, I don't understand you personally. If you do the job, you are good. If you're not doing the job, you are not good. So that is extreme. And number two is I want to be in the good book of all the employees. So you want to take leave, go. I don't bother whether you are doing the job, whether the job has been completed. I don't bother. So
Right.
extremes are bad. So there must be a midway where I will be having some 5-5 kind of quadrant where I
Hmm.
will be having something for the task orientation and the people orientation, and then only I have to take decisions accordingly. And that will be good for the organization. That will be good for the employees as well. So that is how
Right.
leaders should behave actually.
Right, sir. Sir, talking to the same context and moving back to the students, how do you encourage critical thinking among your students?
Right, because critical, as we are talking about this artificial intelligence, and people are talking about by 2030, there would be various jobs which will be obsolete in future.
Very true.
Because
Very true.
artificial intelligence is going to do that. Machines will be doing that. But there are certain kind of qualities or the skill set that cannot be, probably right now, I don't know what is going to happen in future, cannot be done by the machines as of now. Number one of these things is critical thinking. The critically you human beings are having that capability to analyze the
Right.
things much deeper by using his own intelligence, situations and all. So that's why this critical thinking is very, very important for every corporate executives and the students, right? so that they can, take decisions, wise decision, appropriate decision at the right time. So that's why it is, very important actually. And of course, if you want to sustain yourself in the competitive world under the influence of AI, so critical thinking should be, should be practiced on a regular basis actually.
Right, sir. Sir, taking next most commonly asked and most discussed question, what is your perspective on work-life balance for professionals?
Right. It's highly discussed topic nowadays because of different comments made by different, CEOs and all. But work-life balance must be there. Must be there, because if you are not happy in your personal life, that is going to affect your professional life, because you will
Right.
be coming to office with that bag in your head. Right.
Mhm.
So that is not going to helpful at all. Usually, technically, it is being told if there is a 8-hour shift, a person can work with 100% productivity only for 4.8 hours.
Right,
100%,
right.
keeping in
Mhm.
view of those things, leaves, fatigues, etc. Right.
Right, right,
So
right.
that's why we can get 4.8 hours of quality job. I mean, that is good for a company. Now, if you are
Mhm.
thinking of increasing beyond that, I mean, 8 hours to 12 hours, 14 hours, trust me, that is not going to be helpful in increasing productivity. At the end of the day, that is going to decrease, right?
Great.
Because every human being has having some threshold or the capacity of taking stress,
Mm.
workload kind of thing. After that, definitely there would be a reduction in the performance. So by just increasing by workload, by increasing working hour, if some company think the productivity would be increased, so that is not going to happen. Rather,
Yes.
probably recent one study of conducted by different companies in UK, so they are
Mm.
working on a model of 4 days a week. A lot of companies have
Mm.
already started, so they found
Right.
that productivity have increased. But again,
Great.
in all organization, it is not possible. But at least if you are not talking about for 5 days a week, 5 into 8, 40 hours work week, that's the ideal thing. If you are not able to do that, increase that by 4 hours extra on Saturday, 44 hours.
Mm.
So that is okay. Up to that is okay. But after that, probably, that is, probably in a pen and paper, you are showing that my employees are working for 90 hours, but that is not going to do anything good for you. That's the idea,
Right,
actually.
right, right. That is there. That is there. Sir, you have talked about AI. You have talked about the future aspects of HR. Can you please share your thoughts on future of HR practices in India?
Right. I mean, that's a very good question actually, because those who are taking HR specialization or want to pursue their career in HR, that is very important. Because gradually you will be, I mean, I'm just giving one example. Long back, I used to work with Indian Railways. So at that
Mhm.
point of time, I have seen that there was a division called, or the employees called pay clerks. Okay,
Mhm.
part of the personnel department. Their responsibility was to go to different department with a trunk of cash, and they used to
Mhm.
give salary in cash. Now today that particular department vanished. No, I mean, there is no existence, right? Because the
Mhm.
salary is being credited into your account. I can remember that in an organizations where if you have to know PF balance, you go to the HR department, give an application, and then after their suitable time of 7 days, they will give you, okay, this is your PF balance. What is my leave
Right.
balance? Same thing. But due to the introduction of IVRS and the HRIS software, that is in the fingertips. You can instantly from your mobile or laptop, you can just put your employee ID and find all those details. So gradually you can see that there is a shift in the different kind of HR related activities. So in future would be transformational role rather than transactional role. Okay,
Mhm.
transactional role will be already that has been omitted. In future, everything will be omitted. There is no requirement of transactional roles. So everything would be transformational. How the employees should be made much more productive. How they can be, engagement level can be improved. Moral and the motivation can be improved. This should be the sort of discussion. And of course, all the HR professional must be equipped with the technological knowledge. I mean, the what are the kind of new kind of HR technology that is being utilized, maybe for
Mhm.
HR analytics or the HRIS, everything. These techniques, I mean, it is not about only level laws, not only about performance appraisal or the motivation. Now we have to know we have to know statistics. We have to know those softwares. for data analysis, so that it will be easier for us to take decision. So
Hmm.
so forget about those clerical roles. I mean, those roles will not be there. It has to be a transformational role, and we have to be ready for that. Where those critical thinking, those technological knowledge, adaptation, those things would be very, very important actually.
Right, right, very true, very true. Sir, taking the another question, and it is also been asked or discussed in various institute, and people many a times they are not able to associate or relate. I'm talking about CSR. What role does corporate social responsibility plays in modern business?
Right. I mean, corporate social responsibility plays a very, very important role because with that, I mean, money that they are spending on the CSR, through that there are different kind of developmental works is going on, right? So
Right.
that's I'm just giving a specific example of Bosch India Limited. Now, Bosch India Limited, generally, probably in India, probably 2% to 2.5% you need to give from your profitability for the CSR. But the Bosch India Limited, they are spending 93% of their profit for the CSR, right? So
Great.
that's a huge amount of money, and majority of the money they are spending on the education. I mean, skill development and all. They're spending that. So that's why as the different companies are coming up with their CSR fund, if that fund can be utilized properly, there are many developmental activities in the most important areas, especially in the this education, healthcare, and many other things that can be done. So that is the thing. The every organization in their small way they have to think what can be the CSR activities can be done, and
Hmm.
CSR is one of the most important wing. Where this MBA graduates can play a very important role. If they are having a very good idea, they can get good quality job opportunities in the CSR domain as well, right? So CSR, corporate social responsibility, plays a very, very important role, but the intention must be good. That's the thing. Because if your intention is just to showcase that the society, I mean, it is called kind of marketing, that yes, I am utilizing this money for the benefit of the society. We are doing it
Right.
coveted marketing. That is not going to be helpful, right? Your
Hmm.
intentions must be good. That yes, for the development of the society, for the development of the humanity, we are spending this money for better future. That should be the ideal thing actually.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir. Getting back to the personal question in context of your organization, how do you motivate your team to achieve their goals?
It's not about my organization, but normally the thing is that how my policy is that giving, as I have told you in some earlier questions also, giving them freedom, right? I
Hmm.
mean, give them the objective, bigger picture. This is the thing we want. For that reason, these are the small roles that should be carried out. Small job that should be carried out. That is, I am definitely going to explain what is my point of view, how you should do that. But it does not mean they have to follow that only. If you have some
Hmm.
other ideas how that can be done, they can they should be take that thing as well. At the end of the day, we want the result. I mean, this is the ultimate bigger picture where we want
Hmm.
to reach. Now, how you are going to do that, I'm definitely give you suggestion. These are the ways you can do it, but you are free to take some other steps. That okay, fine. These steps, which of course should be ethical. That's it. With some no unethical things should not be done. So that's the idea actually. So that's how I think whatever the success I have got. So that is the thing. I mean, if you are going for micromanagement, that create the problem and the demotivation among the employees.
Right, right, right. It is the art to get into the macro, not micro. Right, sir.
Right.
Right, sir. Sir, talking to very most important question, uh, can you please discuss the significance of networking in business education? Many times, it is that what we were discussing earlier also. Being an HR, we will be into an good lavish, having a cabinet, AC cabinet, and yes, people will come to us and we will discuss and do the things. But it is other way around. You have to be connected with people. The networking is important. So please tell us the significance of networking being into any role into business, be it HR, be it other finance, because many times it has been misunderstood that only marketing people needs networking.
Right. This is a wonderful question actually. Networking is the key nowadays. And that's why, there is a success in LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is doing so well because of that's the thing. I mean, the networking, people trusted that because, through the networking, it is not about doing business. As you have told that networking is basically meant for marketing people or the sales people. People used to think that it is not that because every business activities, we are talking about HR. as we are talking at the beginning, that is the recruitment and the selection. If you want the right kind of person for your the particular role, being a HR person, you have to have a good network of the sources. Because if you are not able to, if you are solely depending on the consultant, if you are solely depending on the newspaper advertisement, you will be not be able to identify the right kind of candidate. If you
Right,
know
right.
the right kind of people by participating in the different kind of networking events, go there personally, meet people, and understand their psychologies, so that is going to be beneficial. So that is the thing, I'm always telling our students actually that develop these things, I mean, habit of networking. Wherever there is an opportunity of networking event, go there. And that is going to be beneficial in future. That's what true. I'm just giving a,
Definitely.
I used to give this example that there was an organization where I was trying for conducting an industrial visit for my student. I was talking
Mhm.
with the HR over phone, but somehow I was not getting the appointment. So now there was a networking event I was attending in a particular five-star hotel. The person who is sitting just beside me, I came to know he is the chairman of that company.
Very good.
So as in the networking lunch, we had a discussion, and I asked that we are trying for this thing, I mean, industrial visit. Can it be arranged? So why don't you talk to our HR? So I told that probably there is a miscommunication. We have not able to. Okay, just give me 1 minute. He called on spot, and that happened on the next week. The industry visit. That's took place actually. So that's the thing. That
Mhm.
is the magic of the networking event. So through that only you will be able to connect it with different people, and through that it is not about your professional success of doing a job. It will create a lot of opportunities in future, because the people, top people, will come to know about you, your profile, then connected to the LinkedIn, always connected with this kind of people. That is going to be definitely beneficial for you. It is, people having a habit that after getting the connections, immediately sending a CV in the LinkedIn. It is not correct. I mean, this is not so. People will be blocking, right?
Right,
Just
right,
have a
right.
normal discussions and all to the networking. That definitely, if they like you, they only will call you that I have a requirement, I have an opportunity. Are you thinking of any change? And that should be the way out. So that the
Right.
pull effect kind of thing. That yes, I'm doing these things. So they will be liking you. They'll be calling you. So in the networking event, so there should not be any push. So push means that will be creating problem for you. I mean, they'll
Hmm.
start ignoring you, avoiding you. So that's the thing. So there should be a pull effect on this networking event. But yes, it's true that you have to attend those networking. You cannot ignore those networking events. You have to do it anyhow.
Right,
Even it is
right.
in weekend, go there and attend.
Very true, sir. Very true, sir. Taking the next question, and now it has been rather say a trend, or it is essential rather say to develop entrepreneurship skills, and that too from the education I'm talking about from the beginning. So, what are your views on the integration of entrepreneurship in management education?
Right. It is very, very important, because ultimately, at the end of the day, in the management education, what we are teaching to do business. Now, whether
Mhm.
you would be working for an organization or whether you will be working for your organization, so that the future will tell. So ultimately, you are serving an organization. That means you are serving a business. So you are
Mhm.
learning all about the marketing or the HR or the finance, different aspect of the business. And if everybody start talking about getting a job, so in future, who is the person who is going to give job? Right. So that is the
Right.
going to happen. Like say, for example, the owner of the Zomato, if they were thinking that I'll be doing a very high hefty salary job in a multinational organization, then we would have lost these opportunities that Zomato is creating. So that's the thing. Everybody, the thought process should be created. So that's why on a regular basis, I personally conduct different activities or the events for entrepreneurial culture at the campus. So this entrepreneurial culture at the campus should be made mandatory for each and every institute. It may be
Right.
engineering, maybe management, etc. Now, what is happening that I have found that though the government nowadays is emphasizing on it, that is the start of India, these things. But think there are many institutions. What is happening that is becoming just formality. Okay, fine. We have to conduct a hackathon. Conduct a hackathon. People will be coming, giving a presentation, giving some marks. That's it. I have put that file in the website. My job is done. I have got a certificate. That's it. I have done. But this is
Mhm.
not going to work. We need to really mentor them, those who are really interested to go for any kind of business avenues or the activities. So that culture should be created. I mean, entrepreneurial culture. They should be given that opportunity to take that risk in the campus. So where some seed fund may be given by the college itself,
Mm.
that okay, start your business, run the canteen, that's it, at least, I mean, run the canteen, understand that whether you are able to do it, okay. Run a cheap store, maybe a momo store, wow momo has not been created in a single day. So if the wow momo is successful, why not some other momo brand or any
Right.
other related brand that can be created for the campus itself? So that's the thing, that culture needs to be inculcated, and that culture should not be end only in documentation. Nowadays in many institute that is happening only documentation wise. There we have a very good entrepreneurship sale and that thing, but at the end of the day, if you ask them how many number of startups you have produced, that is zero, or one or two, those who have done that of their own. There is no contribution from the college. So that
Mm.
culture needs to be imbibed from the top management, top to bottom. All the faculty members and all, they should take pride in helping the startup. The faculty members can be given a stake in the startup, so that they will be
Mm.
having interest, that if I can make this startup successful, I will be earning dividend out of it, right?
Right.
Because I'm the
Right.
owner
Right.
of the company now. So these are the different things we can think of, and that's how, of course, it should be integrated. It is integrated, but the thought process should be changed. Actually, it should not be
Mm.
based on only documentation. To come up with outputs.
Right. Sir, talking more into this concept of teaching, what are some effective method for teaching management concepts?
Right. The management concept teaching is a little bit different from the other subjects, actually. So that's
Mm.
why most important techniques or the methods which are well utilized and accepted is, number one is the case study. So case study
Mm.
you have to use. That through the case study only, they will be able to, students will be able to understand what are the problems the businesses are facing in different domains, and
Totally
how
agree.
they have solved those problems. Now,
Mm.
then give them the task. If you would have been the manager in that organization, what additional things you would have been done? So that is number
Right.
one. Number two is definitely that is called one day business challenge. Let them understand, do a business for one day. How much money, they have to invest from their pocket. It may be 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 200, 2000, up to them. At the end of the day, how much money they are generating. How much revenue they are generating. It is not, sometimes it happens in this kind of one day business challenge, that how much profit you have earned, through that, I'll be giving you price. Now,
Right.
we
Right.
need to understand that it takes minimum 3 to 4 years to be into the profitability. So you cannot expect in a one day the students would be earning profit and to get the price. So of course,
Right.
we are teaching them to be manipulative and showing some profit to
Mm.
get the price. It is not. We have to encourage that how your business process is. What are the
Right.
things you have learned? Okay, it is not,
Right.
you don't have to be profit. It is not possible in a single day how we can become profitable. It's not possible, right? So that is number two. Now the different business houses nowadays, they are doing, that is called the business challenge competition. The corporates are coming not only for internship, not only for placement, they are coming with their business, real life business problem. This is the problem I'm facing. It's a HR problem, it's a finance problem, it's a marketing problem. Now you have one day time, we have created teams, solve it, and those teams would be able to give the best solution. They may be getting an internship opportunity in my organization.
Very
If
good. Very
that
good.
kind of culture can be created, so definitely, people would be, start learning, the basic things, which are important for the organization. Otherwise, in the present culture, what is happening, they are mostly oriented with the syllabus. Okay, I need to complete these 2 chapters because most important question will be coming from this. So I'll be giving a good exam, good marks. So through that, you cannot create good managers, actually. So these practical things, this role plays, you can say, simulation exercises. So these things must be integrated. Right, the classroom lecture, is an ideal situation. Though I have not been able to implement in my job also, but it should be done. If it's a 1 hour class, 20 minutes should be the lecture delivered. The rest of the 40 minutes should be this activity oriented. Then
That is-
you can create good things. But for that, of course, teachers need to put in a lot of time. A
Hmm.
lot of effort, lot of innovative thinking. Just come to the class and giving notes, syllabus complete, my job is over. That is not going to work.
Right, right. That's true. And I think that might be the reason students end up into internships that have just a clerical work, and
Right.
they expect they misunderstand that, okay, even when I am hired, I will be doing the same clerical work and I will be getting a very good salary or very good designation.
Right. That's the thing. So they must be having this kind of exposure by, it's not, I mean, each and every company are facing a lot of problem in every day. So we have to just being a teacher or the, corporate relation people, networking with them on the Saturdays, on Sundays, bringing them in the campus, let them discuss their business problem. Then, if they can find good, every organization are looking for quality people all the time. So if they find some people who are giving extraordinary ideas, they don't have any problem in giving them internship, if not full-time employment, right?
Right.
So that's a good idea.
Right. Sir, taking the next question, how do you incorporate, how do you make things happen that your students or the students you are connected, they get the real life experience or real world examples into your teaching and get the fruitfulness, get the insight of what they are getting into the future in
Right.
terms
So
of
this,
their
so I
specific
mean, that
roles.
is, we can just carry forward. Let us carry forward. It's the same thing, like those things, like this one day business challenge kind of thing. Give them some
Hmm.
business ideas, real business ideas, business problem, and let them solve it. Sometime of course they will not be able to solve it. So that's the thing. It is not about only just studying one subject and giving an examination make you a good manager. So you need to
Hmm.
understand the real life problem and solve it on spot. So if it can be done throughout 2 years period, automatically after 2 years they will be developing that skill set, that how to solve those real life problems. So that is one aspect definitely. Number two is the role plays. You are acting as a manager. Some employee, some another student is acting as an employee. Now, what are the real life problems generally we are facing during the managing the conflict related to, say, for example, leave application and granting of leaves? Because if
Hmm.
somebody is applying for a leave of 10 days, probably the manager is not a position to sanction that. So when the manager is not sanctioning, employee is thinking he is intentionally not giving. But probably
Right.
managers are having constraint. Probably he is not able to give because of the resource constraint. So how that
Right.
problem can be solved? So in the real life situation, that can be done. Like say, for if you are preparing the students for the banking industry, so why don't you create some simulated environment like a bank in your campus? So where you are
Hmm.
acting as a tailor, you as a branch manager, what are the real life problem they are facing? How that should be solved? If this simulated environment can be created and properly implemented, that's very important. There are different policies we are taking, but at the end of the day, if it is not properly implemented, there is no value addition. I mean, so that's the thing.
Right.
When you take those policies and implement it,
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir. Very true.
right?
Very true, sir. Sir, taking the next question, can you share your thoughts on the importance of adaptability in the workplace? That is a bit complex, and people are not able to understand the parameter, rather say, of that.
Right, true. I mean, it is one of the most important human behavior that should be inculcated in everybody, because
Mhm.
adaptability is the key. Because as I've told you from my experiences, as I've served different organizations, so that different organizations are having different culture. If you are not able to adapt yourself with the situation, so you will not be able to survive. I'm just giving one of my friends example, who used to be a very good student, actually mathematics student. He was a master degree in mathematics, then he got a job in a school, primary school, you know class 1 to 4. But he was not happy with the job, because he was thinking, I have done this much of things, but I'm just wasting my time by teaching these kids. He has done MBA then, and he thought that he want to become a trainer in corporate. So the first day he left the job, he joined the corporate. In the first day, in the first assignment of the training, he was conducting a training program of top 50 executive of the company. I mean, top 50 executive of the particular organizations. So at the end
Mhm.
of the training program, the general manager came to him and told that, what's your earning today from this training program? He told, sir, what is my earning? Earning is, I'm getting my salary, I'm conducting the training. He told that, no,
Oh,
no, no, I'm not talking about your earning. I'm talking about company's earning. It is
right.
50 people whose average salary is 30,000 per day. So they have involved into here. That means 30,000 into 50. That much money I have spent today. So
Hmm.
what is the output? I mean, after attending the training program, what is the growth? What would be the growth in my sales, in my overall output, reducing the attrition? How you explain it? So after this question, he used to explain to me. I mean, nobody asked me when I used to go to the class 1 to 4 classes, that at the end of the day you have teach mathematics. What is output? Nobody asked me. But here every penny counted, right? Every penny counted. So that's why you have to adapt yourself. It is not that easy that, okay, fine, this is my job, do it, and nobody's asking about the what is the output. Every cases they will be asking the output. right? So that
Right.
adaptability is the key. You have to adapt to the situation. The different companies are having different culture, different policies, different rules and regulation. You have to adapt. Again, I'm giving another example. In that multinational organization I was talking about, the one person have joined from again a government organization. Now in the government organization, he was habituated with the calling of sir, like that. Everybody is calling him sir. He has a separate cabin and all. Now when he joined this organization, this is an open office culture. You are sitting in an office with a laptop. It's an open office. Okay, you don't
Uh,
have any, group D staff to serve you tea and coffee, right?
yes.
Everybody is calling you with your first name. So if you are not able to adapt to the situation, adapt to that new culture, you cannot survive. So that's why
Right.
in different aspects, adaptability is the key. You have to adapt yourself in different kind of situation. Then only you will be able to survive.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Sir, talking about your professional life, what are some common challenges and the experience I'm talking in context with? What are some common challenges faced by an HR professionals today?
There are, in every profession, there are challenges. HR is not an exception. Like, say, for example, people think if they are getting promotion, if they are getting salary hike, it is because of the HR. And the vice
Right,
versa
right,
is also vice versa.
right.
If they are not getting promotion, if they are not getting good salary hike, the HR is responsible. But in
Please, so,
majority of
so.
the, right, majority of the cases, it is not in your hand. It is taken by
Right,
the, decision is taken by the top management, the functional managers and all. So you are in a
right.
sandwich situation actually, right? So whatever the negative decision, like the company have decided, we are not going to give bonus this year. Who is going to communicate? HR is going to communicate, and the people are thinking it is the HR decision, right?
Right.
So that's the thing. I mean, that is the challenges, but it's a professional challenge. You cannot ignore it, but we have to work on it. But that's the thing. There are several challenges, but these are the very common things that is happening. But again, for the HR perspective, those who are veteran HR professional, it is a fact that many people are facing the challenges of upgrading their skill set in the technology. Because
Mhm.
nowadays HR analytics is a core part. I mean, each and every job, if they are not knowing the tools and techniques, if they want to change the job, they are facing this issue. I mean,
Right, right.
you are not aware about these tools and techniques. So that's why, these things are challenging, but you have to keep on upgrading yourself. If you don't know something, that is okay, but try to, develop those skill set so that you should not be obsolete in the job market.
Right. Very true. Yes, keep improving, keep getting the new things, learning new things. That is very important. Sir,
Right.
asking about the next question, how a culture of continuous improvement can be created in any organization, specifically in higher educational institutes?
Right. Continuous, if you're, it totally depend on, I have understood. If your performance appraisal system is robust, where
Mhm.
your self appraisal parameters, it is clearly mentioned, these are the things you will be doing, then you will be getting these marks. Like
Yeah,
if you can
allocation.
complete one certification in this domain, you will be getting 2 marks. So 5 certification means 10 marks. So
Mhm.
automatically, the people would be investing time in improving their skill set because it is included in the performance appraisal system. In the
Mhm.
educational institution, if your performance appraisal system says that you have to publish 5 international journals in a year, I mean 5 international paper in an international journal actually. So people would be investing time because they know that their performance will be depending on that. Their evaluation would be conducted based on that. Nobody is going to
Mhm.
personally interviewing them. They would be just asked, show me the 5 papers. So show me the
Right.
5 certifications. If you are completing your PhD this year, you will be getting 10 marks. There are many organizations they are doing. I'm telling that this is a good policy. So if you can, whatever
Mhm.
you are expecting from the employees, if you can include those things in the self appraisal, it is not a forceful appraisal to be checked and evaluated by the authorities. It is not self appraisal. They know these are the things that is being expected. So
Mhm.
automatically they will be investing their time in improving their skill set, improving their the knowledge, certifications, etc. So that if the employees are not becoming obsolete, the company will not become obsolete. So that's the fundamental concept. So in this way, definitely, and of course, this should be rewarded. I mean, if you're doing this, you should be rewarded. I mean, it may be financial reward, non-financial reward.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. This year, best teacher with the maximum publication, give a certificate. So automatically,
Right.
the next one, all the other teachers would be motivated to do that, right? So
Very
that's
true.
how you the company don't have to pay a lot of money for it. You just give a social recognition in front of
Right.
everybody. So definitely, that
Right.
works.
Yeah, non-monetary benefits helps in that
Right.
case. Taking the next question, what is your vision for the future of MBA programs at your institute, or holistically I talk about India?
Right. I mean, as I've told, throughout our discussion, that came, I mean, we can come to that conclusion that MBA degree should be awarded based on the performances in the different kind of real life business activities. That should be
Hmm.
given much more weightage than the theoretical examination of, giving, 5 marks question, 15 marks question. They are marking up, giving the question, and they are getting marks, and they are having a business degree. It is not going
Right.
to, it is not sustainable, though it is now working properly, but it is not going to be sustainable in future. If we, like, say for example, recently Elon Musk have told probably that I am going to hire engineers who are not engineers. I mean, no BTech degree, MTech degree is required. If they have knowledge, I'll take it. So if this is
Right.
going to happen in management education also. So we have to develop that skill set. I mean, real life business knowledge we should have. And during, I mean, whenever we'll be awarding the degree, if that should be made mandatory, that okay, whether you have able to run one startup, okay,
Right.
yeah, at least the I'm not we are not talking about profitability, but whether you
Hmm.
have been able to get into break even. What are the
Right.
strategies you have taken? Even if that is a failure, why do you think that it's a failure? What alternative
Hmm.
should have been taken? So if that can be properly explained, even it's a failed startup also, they will be getting the degree, but at least they will be
Right.
having that understanding why the startup has failed, clear
Very
understanding.
true.
So that is
Very
the
true.
way forward, according to me, actually. And those specialization things should be academics. It should not be professional, because that creating confusion among the
Hmm.
students. They
Yes.
think
Yeah.
the specialization and studying only two subjects, they are an expert in HR or a marketing or a finance. It is not. They need to understand
Right.
that.
Right.
So, right.
Right.
So that's why it needs to be made very clear that this specialization is academic, right? But being a manager, you are supposed to work in every domain. Then only you will be able to successful, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's
It
how
is.
it should be.
Right. It is very true. Students get misunderstood that okay, they what we will do is they will be doing a dual MBA and they can easily land up into either an HR job or in a marketing job.
Right.
And but the fact is that they lack knowledge in both the both the fields. So, sir, it was really great talking to you, and how you have put down the the insight of what has to be there, how it is in context of subject and subtopics. That was really wonderful, sir. Taking the last question or getting into the end of the discussion, what final message would you like to share with our listener, Yogiram podcast listeners, about management and very specifically into HR?
Yeah, right. So from this particular discussion, if you are talking about that management, we are emphasizing on the practical exposure. So take all those initiative to increase. If you are talking, if you are our stakeholders are two parties. Number one, the students, and the number two is the institution. If you're talking about
Hmm.
the students, you should be, taking all the opportunities to improve your practical exposure. If it is an internship, if it is a, live projects, if it is a one-day business challenge, if it is a networking event, any kind of, or say a simple industry academia meet, anything, you should not ignore any one of these. Attend all those things to increase or improve your real life business knowledge, because at the end of the day, that is important, right? How
Right.
much knowledge you are having for real life business, not theoretical knowledge. And from the institution perspective, if you are talking about the things, I mean, the things we are talking about, the students, like this practical exposure, internship, live projects, one day business challenge, simulation exercises, these should be made mandatory, and try
Right.
to inculcate in a evaluation process. Maybe some of the institution may tell that okay, we are being governed by an university, they are having a syllabus, we need to follow that. Yes, follow that, no issue. But for your own perspective, nobody is going to stop you if you can include all this kind of practical exposure. Nobody is
Right.
going to stop you, do it. Given internal evaluation, you are having some internal marks in every university system of 30% to 40%. So give those 30%, 40% marks based on this practical exposure. So automatically they will be, taking it seriously, and they will be developing their knowledge. And ultimate objective is to make them employable, industry ready. So that is
Right.
going to happen. And specifically those who are coming to the HR domain specifically. So in HR domain, there are different areas like the recruitment, selection, performance appraisal, labor laws and etc. Along with that, try to develop your knowledge in HR analytics, because that is the future. What is the implications of the different kind of AI softwares or the artificial intelligence tools in the HR related activities. You have to be aware about that, so that you would not be obsolete in the job market. So that is going to be helpful for you, and all the best to all of you.
Sir, it was really great talking to you again. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for your time.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. It was my pleasure to talking with you actually. And definitely in future also, if you have the opportunity to talk, definitely that will be my pleasure to talk again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.